Hello, I'm Luke Neller and welcome to Best Replays of the Week. In this episode we have a T-29 on a Top Gun rampage, a scouting game straight out of a textbook, and an LTTB who will not accept defeat. Let's go! We'll start on the EU servers, where Nesmo goes scouting in a T-54 lightweight. The battleground is Prokhorovka, and the intrepid scout sprints to a familiar position without delay. Opposition rolls into view, and the Allied guns open up. A T-25-2 manages to limp away, with Nesmo's parting shot hurrying it along. The enemies want revenge, but they aren't getting it. It turns out a rival scout was hiding in a nearby bush. The poor thing doesn't stand a chance. An SPG tries to run, but it's much too late for that. The Conqueror is dangerous prey. It's not going down without a fight. The Scout is difficult to hit, however, and surprisingly well armored. That makes it 5-0, and the remaining arties are here as well. Nesmo keeps moving, and the assistance damage keeps rolling in. Going over the tracks would be bad for the T-54's structural integrity, so the Scout hangs back, just out of reach. A T-49 pounces, and Nesmo has to fall back. However, getting revenge on the Scout turns out to be dangerous, and although the opponents are down to 3, there's no reason to get killed now. Never mind, it doesn't matter, as the CDC is already the last one standing, and it doesn't last long. It's game over. That sure was efficient. Nesmo scored almost 9,000 points in assisted damage in less than 6 minutes, with 1.5k personal damage from 6 perfect shots as well. A textbook example of scouting. The next game comes from the American region, where Murphy's Law fights as a Confederate. Let's hope nothing goes wrong. The game is a Tier 9 standard battle fought on Windstorm, and Murphy's ride is a Speerpanzer RU-251. The Confederate leads a couple of teammates northwest, reaching their destination just as 6th Sense lights up. This position isn't exactly safe, but Murphy manages to squeeze off several shots, eventually knocking out a 1390. The Confederate dishes out a volley of shells before heading out to look for more victims. A Batchat SPG is an excellent target, and, quick as it is, it doesn't get away. Speaking of Batchats, here's another one. Murphy gives chase and claims the dangerous autoloader as the 3rd kill. The next encounter is a TVP VTU, with a Ferdinand in tow. The Confederate hammers the lead machine down to 3 hit points, and puts a shell into the 30 for good measure. A friendly Mutz is attempting a capture, so the remaining enemies need to be kept busy. Murphy hits a Carnarvon from the side, and follows it up with an attack on an enemy Mutz. They are undeterred, and one of them manages to fight their way into the circle. The capture is reset. From here on, the match turns into a chaotic furball. Murphy battles on until there are no targets remaining. The opposition is down to a single Leopard prototype. In theory, the top tier med could still carry the day, but Murphy's team isn't having any of that. Our Confederate has time to put in a few shots before the Allied Wolfpack tears the big cat into pieces. There we go, almost 6,000 points of damage, delivered with sniper-like precision. With a name like that, however, I expected something to go wrong, but luckily, it didn't. This week's Top Gun is Boombot Destroyed, who goes looking for bots on Winter Himmelsdorf. The match is played on a European server, with Boom's T-29 on top tier. The American Heavy heads for the banana and ends up splitting attention between the alley and the middle of the map. A Cromwell B charges out to kill an ally and ends up as Boom's first kill. An AT-15A volunteers to be the second, but it's a tough nut to crack. The Top Gun decides to ignore the TD for a while, turning around and killing a KV-3 instead. Let's try this again. There we go, that's more like it. There's a pair of Kappas in the circle, but surely there's time to deal with the Hellcat first. Actually, since somebody is already suppressing the Cap, let's pick up another kill on the way. I mean, it's not like there's an actual hurry. Okay, maybe there's a little bit of a hurry. There, okay, there was no need to panic. It looks like everybody else is dead though. The opposition charge in without fear, but Boom knows how to destroy more than just bots. The cannon barks twice, and the kill counter goes up to 9. The T-34 and the KV seem content to keep our champion tracked. Are they buying time for the rival T-29 to turn up? Tick-tock, tracks up. Time's up. The T-3485 holds its ground, but courage is no substitute for firepower. The game comes down to a duel. Boom is probably wondering about the opponent's state of repair. Okay, so it's a full health then. That's quite a challenge. Boom keeps out of the line of fire and heads for the capture circle. Unfortunately, the long-range snapshot misses, but at least Boom knows that it is definitely on its way. This will have to be perfect. The Top Gun drives around the block rather than facing the opponent head-on. There's another opportunity for a snapshot, but the APCR shell fails to penetrate. The next shot does go through, but so does the rival's. Luckily, it was a low damage roll. Boom puts in another shell and parries the return shot with the turret. Disaster as the next shot bounces. The rival is confident and waits for a good opportunity, which allows Boom to fire a second time, making them panic and hastily fire. A high roll could end it now, but of course, Boom doesn't get so lucky. But the next shot is intercepted with a gun. It may damage the barrel, but that's not important here as the duel is already won. Boom calmly rolls back and ends the match. Nice work, Top Gun. 12 kills is good enough already, but taking out a full health clone at the end was really impressive. That line of medals is well deserved. This week's invader is Skranci from the EU region, and they drive a Type 64 light tank. The Type is parked in a well-known bush. Taking a shot when detection seems inevitable. The bush continues to be of use, and Skranci bags an OI as the first kill of the match. A T-25 is going down, but enemy artillery lands a punishing hit as well. It might be time to abandon the trusty bush. The team is 4 points behind, and Skranci is determined to close the gap. The Skoda lands a return shot, but the Type isn't built for trading fire. Allies can finish off that one. A top-tier heavy is a good target. It doesn't quite die, but it's hanging by a thread. That wasn't satisfying for Skranci. But killing the Scorpion with 3 shots is. Skranci opens up the distance as the last ally falls in battle. The end game is 1 against 5. There's a Grille out in the open, but finishing off the T-29 takes priority. This time the heavy doesn't show its side though, and even APCR rounds bounce off its thick hide. Skranci loads the only HE round carried and tries again. Still no kill. Looks like the HE round did some damage though, too bad there aren't more of them. The T-29 still isn't dying. This is getting dangerous. The SPG tries its luck as well, as does a second one. At least the ELC gets taken care of. T-29, your time has come. Boom! That one sure took some killing. The Grille is still out in the open. 3 shots and it's gone. There are only 2 SPGs remaining, but the Type has only 5 shells left. Will it be enough? Here's the GW Panther. 4 shells later, it's still alive. Skranci uses the last shell to finish it off. No ammo, but since this is an Invader award, I bet you can guess what happens now. However, sitting in the circle doesn't sound that impressive. Surely there's a catch. And there is. The arty is right there. You have to wonder, does the arty know that the Type is out of shells? What is the reload on that thing anyway? How many attempts will it get? Oh dear, it's coming into close combat. The Invader manages to deflect the collision so that the capture isn't reset, and the SPG even takes damage. The shotgun goes off, but the Invader dodges the blast. The capture is complete. GG. That was more of a Top Gun game until the end, but capturing under the nose of that angry SPG pushed it firmly into the Invader category. Thanks for the entertainment, Skranci. It's time for the finale, and this time that means a crucial contribution by Chambax. The game is played on an American server, where a little LTTB scout gives its all in a Winter Himmelsdorf encounter. The game starts and Chambax is off like a shot. The LTTB charges up the middle road, spotting a couple of tanks. In the meantime, the main struggle is being fought on the hill and seems to be going poorly. Chambax chooses to guard the capture zone and opens the kill tally with a Jagdpanther 4. Punching holes into the wall doesn't produce a line of fire on the Nashorn, so Chambax charges into knife fighting range. Allies are rapidly running out, and the remaining 2 look like they could use some help. Chambax puts a shell into the side of a jumbo and attempts to get closer. The Lorraine has to be dealt with first though, but more enemies keep joining the fight. The LTTB fights like a platoon of 3, but can't prevent allies from getting overwhelmed. The situation goes down to 1 versus 10, and Chambax responds by slaying 3 opponents in rapid succession. 1, 2, 3. It's still 1 against 7. Can anybody beat those odds? Much less a light tank on Himmelsdorf. Chambax is gonna have a go, that's for sure. Come on then, Jumbo, if you think you're hard enough. The OTTB burns with the fury of 1,000 suns, cutting down 2 fools who dare to get in its way. It looks like the opposition would rather capture than face the light tank in combat. We'll just see about that. The first reset shot connects with the Panther. It looks like the Oni has fallen asleep, so Chambax knocks out the German kitty before turning attention to the Japanese behemoth. The Oni wakes up, but it's much too late. Incredibly, the opposition is now down to 2. In theory, the OTTB could just stay in the circle, but Chambax's bloodlust will not allow it. The Patriot reveals itself by firing, and our crucial warrior gets into position to fight it. The Tiger 1 arrives as well, and Chambax is worryingly low on shells. The Patriot stays in hiding, so the Tiger gets the first shell. The last APCR round finds its mark as well, but this is where our hero's luck runs out. The Tiger lands a crippling shot, and the Patriot takes the opportunity to end the game. No! Oh man, it turns out that even heroes fall in the end. I think we need a new bonus award called Heartbreak of the Week. This one certainly qualifies. Rest in Valhalla, fearless Chambax. You earned it. And that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep playing awesome games and let us share them with the world. I'm Luke Nella, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.